Good morning, Corpus Christi, Coastal Bend, and listeners worldwide. Welcome on in to another edition of the Sunday Sports Rush right here on News Talk KEYS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. I'm your host, James Espinosa, joined alongside co-host and producer Aiden Ducker.
What's Gucci weather?
We have Alex Weister in the building with us today.
It's just not the same, man. We need the actual bump back.
I know. We need that bump back. Aiden's going to have to do a little bit of homework and find it. We can't hear you on air.
Okay, I have it.
There we go.
It's been 2 weeks, guys.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks since we've been live in studio. Marcos Smadakeen will be joining us here shortly.
What's Gucci with it?
There it is.
Finally.
He's on the way into the studio, but it's a special day today.
I have to play the intro off the B bar because of that little thing.
Technical stuff back here in the mothership. So,
introduce Alex first.
I already introduced everybody. You missed all that. But we're here this morning. It's a special day because it is our 2-year anniversary, and it is episode number 100. We finally made it. Episode 100 is here. It is our 2-year anniversary when we started this little Sunday show that could, and we're here this morning with you, and we are going to kick sports' ass because that is what we do. Guys, it's been 2 years. It's been 100 episodes. Quickly around the table, what does this mean to you, Aiden?
We are the little engine that could. You know, we had a lot of doubters, a lot of people speaking disrespect on our name.
A lot of haters out there in the Corpus Christi radio streets.
But we're 100 episodes strong. We got a good, loyal core fan base.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We appreciate y'all guys out there. Get into the text line this morning, 361-882-5397. Shower us with praise. Hit us up with your sports opinions. We're taking them all show long. Alex, your thoughts on 2 years and 100 episodes?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because this is basically where I got my start,
Yeah.
It's crazy looking back on everything that I've been able to do so far in my short career to think that sitting where I am right now is where I got my start on the airwaves.
This is where you got your chops, man.
Yeah.
Got your chops, and look at you now. So we're happy. We're ecstatic. Every single one of you who has supported us over the course of these last 2 years, over the course of these 100 episodes, y'all guys are truly the reason why we do this. And without y'all, we wouldn't have a show. So we appreciate y'all so much. We're going to have fun today. We're going to talk all the sports. And yes, 2 years and episode number 100. Let's hit the text line. Annette's in here. Annette says, congrats, guys. You all are awesome. Thank you, Annette, for getting in. We already have people rolling in. Mark's in here on the text line, 361-882-5397. Mark says, congratulations on 100. Appreciate you guys. Get in on the text line, 361-882-5397. We're taking your text all the way till 11 a.m. All right. Let's talk some NFL. First segment, let's get this party started with some NFL talk because yesterday, there was 2 NFL games that went down. One with some significant note because the Chiefs had to win to stay the number 1 seed, and they did win. They blew out the Raiders 31-13. Now, I saw the majority of this game because I was barbecuing outside and I had the TV on outside, but I'm going to be quite honest with you. This game didn't have my attention like the way Titans and Jags did, but the Chiefs did their thing. 31-13. Mahomes had a crazy touchdown pass to McKinnon. Another magical moment from Mahomes, so that was pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, that was McKinnon's, 6th straight game with a touchdown?
Something like
He's
that.
going to keep hammering that in just because you dropped him in fantasy.
After you dropped him, he could have helped you win the championship.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. So they did their thing.
But don't worry, Sky Moore will produce.
Isaac Pacheco had 64 carries, 1 touchdown, and the Chiefs yesterday were having so much fun playing the Raiders that they were doing bits.
Yeah, that was crazy.
At one point, they lined up in the huddle and just started going ring around the rosy and going in a circle, and then they lined up and ran a play.
How demoralizing is that for the Raiders, though, after the horrible season that you've had, the ups and downs, all the issues, and the Chiefs just come out doing ring around the rosy and then just score a touchdown.
The Raiders are such poverty right now, man, with the whole situation with Derek Carr and Mark Davis had a story come out yesterday owner of the Raiders, by the way, Mark Davis, he had a story come out saying that he's disappointed that at Raiders home games, there's more away fans than Raiders fans. What did you think, you dumbass? You moved your team to Vegas, the #1 vacation city in this country. Of course, opposing fan bases are going to want to go see their team and make an entire weekend out of the Vegas experience. Yeah, that's going to happen when you have a team in Vegas.
And Oakland has always had, like, really good fan bases, too, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is even crazier to me, that the fact that they left that.
Marcos Matakin's in the building. What's up, Marcos?
What's up, James?
Episode number 100, baby. You feel good?
Yeah, I'm psyched,
But
bro. I came in a little later, but I'm hyped to ride on y'all's coattails.
It's okay, baby. Glad to have you here. Aiden, go ahead.
Wait, but Alex, didn't it have something to do with Oakland not willing to build them a new stadium?
That might have been it.
I think that's. I'll defend the Raiders organization on that, but yeah, I mean, when you're in Vegas,
I also think that they just wanted to leave.
I don't think they wanted to leave. I think they want a stadium built.
They wanted a new stadium. And it's the same thing that's happening with the Oakland A's, the baseball team. They might be leaving Oakland as well because the city of Oakland, for whatever reason, doesn't want to build a new stadium. But that's another story for another time. So the Chiefs win 31-13. Now going on to last night's game, which had major implications. It was the AFC South championship game. It was Titans and it was Jaguars. And this one went down in Jacksonville. And let me just credit Jacksonville's fan base because, my God, those fans in Jacksonville, you could tell they were thirsting. They were hungry for any kind of meaningful football. And that crowd was rabid. They were in it when the big plays were about to happen. It was loud, man.
Back in Duval.
Exactly. And thankfully, their mascot, Jackson DeVille, was not in a Speedo this time.
Kept his clothes on, thank God.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Act like he'd been there before.
And we basically saw the return of Saxonville.
Yeah.
It looked good, man.
So the Jags get the win 20-16 over the Titans. Trevor Lawrence had a pretty good game, 20 of 32, 212 and a touchdown. He did have one wide open miss to Christian Kirk in the back of the end zone. Kind of a bad throw. Look, Trevor's going to have a couple of those every now and then, but that's just him still being a young quarterback, and it's only year 2 for Trevor, and technically it's kind of like year 1 for Trevor because he had year 1 with Urban.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of like,
I'll give him like a B for his performance. They had no running game at all.
No.
ETN just could not get it going.
Well, that's because the Titans' run defense has been stout all year. Teams have been passing all over them. I believe it was like a top 5 run defense, and they had, I think it was like a bottom 3 pass defense.
Never forget that Monday night game playing single coverage all game against Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
And
that haunts your dreams.
Speaking of guys who performed pretty well for the Jags, Christian Kirk had a pretty good game. 6 receptions, 99 yards, and a big touchdown. I think that Christian Kirk signing in the offseason worked out pretty well for Jacksonville. So the Jags are going to the playoffs. The first time since 2017, Jacksonville will be in the playoffs, and they're going to host a playoff game.
And you want to know what's even better? Looking forward to next year, Christian Kirk doesn't have to be the wide receiver 1 anymore because they have Calvin Ridley, who can take over as the wide receiver 1. So
that's right. Good. I forgot that he was traded there, right?
Yes, he was. So he can go back to his wide receiver 2 role, which I think he would fit a little bit more.
So, Kirk has done a good job this year. He's done fantastic filling in that wide receiver 1 role.
And then Zay Jones has shown some splashes, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram the past month has been playing well. I know he had his ups and downs in New York. But.
So, real quickly, around the table, and 361-882-5397, let us know your takes on this. Is Jacksonville a very scary playoff team?
Man.
I say yes. They started off the season 2-6 in the first 6 games. To end off the season, they went 7-2.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. Any team that is that hot going into the playoffs is dangerous.
And I will say this also, Doug Peterson factor. He's been there. He's done that. He took the Eagles to the Super Bowl with a much lesser quarterback in Nick Foles. I mean, let's just be honest here. Doug Peterson is an offensive mastermind. I definitely subscribe to Jacksonville being a very dangerous playoff team.
They might win the wild card game, but they would have to play the Chiefs, who just locked up the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I would give them a pretty high likelihood in winning the wild card, especially if it's against the Chargers. That game.
Well, the Chargers have been playing a lot better this past month.
Oh my God!
Yes,
the AFC playoffs are going to be stacked.
It definitely is compared to the NFC when you see some of the bottom teams who are making it in.
Man, so here we are, guys. We're here. Feels so good to be here. I'm not even lying. Like, I'm a little bit emotional right now because I'm gonna be damn honest with y'all. Like, when I first started the show, I didn't know how long we were gonna go. It's just one of these mornings where there's extreme gratitude, there is passion, and I hope it's coming across on your radio speakers or your phone speaker or however you're consuming us. We appreciate y'all guys so much. Get in on the text line this morning, 361-882-5397. So, we'll wrap up segment 1 with a little bit of a question of the day. Well, not a little bit. It is the question of the day. So the question of the day to the listening audience and to everybody in this room, which NFC quarterback do you trust the least in the playoffs? NFC quarterback. Which NFC quarterback do you trust the least? Cousins, Prescott, Purdy, Jones, Hurts, Rodgers, Goff, Geno Smith, Brady. All those quarterbacks are the potential playoff quarterbacks. Which one do you trust the least? 361-882-5397. That is our question of the day. Does anybody want to take a swing at this first? Alex.
So we can include quarterbacks who have not fully made it in but are still in the hunt, correct?
They're still in the hunt, technically.
Okay, I'll reserve.
All right. Well, we'll let this simmer for a little bit. And then we will answer it in the next segment because I want to give the listening audience a chance to get in with their takes. Which NFC quarterback do you trust the least heading into the playoffs? And I have a pretty good feeling, listeners out there, that a lot of you are going to say Dak Prescott. I just know it. I know it. We're going to get a lot of Dak votes coming in, and bring them on because we're going to discuss it this morning. So we're going to go ahead and hit the break because we will continue our NFL discussion in the next segment. We're going to get to the question of the day. We'll have a little roundtable. We'll discuss about that. And then we're going to give our thoughts on everything that happened with the Damar Hamlin medical incident on Monday Night Football. It's episode number 100. It's our 2-year anniversary. Keep it locked to the Sunday Sports Rush. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush. It's episode number 100. It's our 2-year anniversary. And my God, we're partying our asses off here this morning. Got my Starbucks coffee. We're all ready.
Oh, you woke up feeling dangerous with that Starbucks
I feel dangerous.
Oh.
Exactly. Dangerous. Alex has his Celsius. And Marcos has his water.
That's a bad omen.
No free brand deals in here. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Now.
Sorry.
That's a bad omen.
Those are not sponsorships, but if you want to sponsor the show, hit us up. Why not? Come on.
Your calls to Starbucks will never be heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dream big.
So it is the 2-year anniversary, and we got some people on the text line shouting us out, 361-882-5397. It's a celebration show, and it's a show where we're going to kick sports' ass. Aaron is in here on the text line. Shout out to Aaron Ball, one of my good friends. Aaron says, congratulations. Appreciate that, Aaron. Thank you so much for getting in this morning. Daniel Zapata's also in here. Daniel says, congratulations, bro. Exclamation point. So there we go. Thank you guys for getting in and showing love. One more here. Let's go to George D., who's been a faithful listener from all the way back. So George D's in here. He says, happy 100, gentlemen. As a listener, this means we get to start our Sunday with a great sports show with fantastic programming and second-to-none broadcasters. Enjoy your success. You all deserve it. Thanks, George D. Thank you, George.
Appreciate you, George.
That is very awesome, very sincere. We appreciate you listening, man. That's incredible, man. So thank you so much, George, for getting in this morning. We do appreciate that so much. And if you have a text, send it in 361-882-5397. We want you guys in here on the text line. So make sure that you get in, and we'd appreciate that so much. All right, let's go ahead and let's keep this party going because I asked a question to the audience and to us in here in the mothership. Who's the NFC quarterback that you trust the least? The NFC quarterback that you trust the least. And now that it has simmered, right, I do have some responses to get to. Chris says, this year it's Brady or Daniel Jones. That's Chris's take. He doesn't trust Tom Brady or Daniel Jones.
Finally, I saw someone say Daniel Jones.
Even a Tom Brady hater, you know his voodoo. Just if he's still alive in the game, if you give him enough life, you know how he is.
Look, it's January Tom.
I mean, I wouldn't say. I mean, he's not the best playoff performer we've ever seen statistically, but like if you just keep him alive in that fourth quarter, he'll try to make the throws he'll have to make. He doesn't win them all the time, but for the most part, he is very dangerous in these situations.
We have more coming in. Let me get to them real quickly. Mario is in here. Mario says, Rain Dakota Prescott.
Wow.
You know what? I'm going to say something, and this is coming from my Cowboys fan heart here. I don't disagree with that because over the course of Dak's playoff tenure, right? 1 win, 2 losses. I think Dak Prescott does need to show a little bit more in the playoffs to earn his right to be considered one of the top quarterbacks in this league. Now, is that a little bit unfair? Yes. But is that the way people judge quarterbacks in the NFL? Also, yes. It's an unfair standard, but it's a standard that the top 10, top 5 quarterbacks tend to meet when you're in the playoffs. You step up in the biggest moments.
Now, I'm back on Tom Brady. You cannot bet against Tom Brady. I think he's arguably the greatest game manager that you've ever seen in the fourth quarter. He makes the throws that he needs to make. He doesn't make mistakes. And that's what you need from your quarterback in moments like that.
Absolutely.
I think the obvious answer to answer your question, James, is Brock Purdy.
Yeah, because
he's a rookie. He's the last pick of the draft. He's only started a handful of games. He's looked good at times, but a lot of people are saying that's because of Shanahan's offense. That's because of Kyle Shanahan's leadership. That's not because of Brock Purdy. Can Brock Purdy win you a ball game in the biggest moments of the year, which you've been fighting for all season?
In my opinion, I think Shanahan will have Brock Purdy ready for the playoffs. So I'm going to reserve my opinions on him until I see more. But I think he can lead them in the playoffs. The quarterback that I haven't really heard much from anybody yet is Jared Goff. And the reason why I'm mainly picking him is because if they make the playoffs, his road splits are horrendous.
Okay.
He is terrible on the road.
And that's a fair point to Goff.
They wouldn't have a home game.
But counterbalance to that, Goff has at least been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's battle-tested in the playoffs. He was surrounded by a great Rams team.
He made some throws in that Saints game, Alex, late.
You have to understand his road splits this year are incredibly different from his homes. He's in the playoffs this year. This isn't in years past.
I think the answer, because we've seen because it's the first year where he's actually been good is you could say Jalen Hurts as well, but I think Jalen Hurts is more dynamic of a quarterback than Daniel Jones. I mean, I know Daniel Jones has a running threat, but Jalen Hurts' arm has been more consistent this year. Whenever he's been asked to throw, so I would have to say Daniel Jones. But the rookie quarterback thing with Purdy, man,
it hurts. It hurts with Purdy.
It's either Purdy or Jones. But I love Purdy, man. I love what he's done. Filling in for Jimmy G. He's been
Go ahead, Marcos. I know you had something to say.
Yeah, Brock Purdy has looked really good. It's just hard to trust a rookie quarterback in the biggest games of the moment, in the biggest games of the season, with the team that is expected to make a Super Bowl run and win it.
I will say, though, Jimmy G did make a Super Bowl just handing the ball off to Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, that's true.
In the back of that defense.
I'm gonna also give my take on this. I don't trust Purdy either. I just don't buy into rookie quarterback automatically going into the playoffs. And what happens if they get down by 10? What happens if they have to face some adversity in the playoffs? That is the biggest moment. Right now, my trust is not in Brock Purdy. 361-882-5397. Mark is in here. Mark says, I don't trust Purdy. He was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. Hold back the anointing oil like the tuna used to say.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's a good argument because we've seen plenty of great quarterbacks be drafted low.
I think one thing that could actually help Brock Purdy is, a lot of rookies have that like blissful ignorance whenever they have success early in their career, where they have no idea. Like Pat McAfee talks about it all the time. His rookie year, they went to the Super Bowl with the Colts. He had no idea that wasn't normal. They didn't make another Super Bowl his entire career. Brock Purdy might just be on this high, like, hey, this is what we do. We win ball games.
And maybe, Shanahan and company will scheme it to where, hey, keep it simple. Don't overthink too much. Don't get yourself overloaded up there and just let it fly. And that's a great point right there, Marco. So 361-882-5397. Who's the NFC quarterback that you trust the least heading into the playoffs? Now, we are going to transition here. A little bit of a hard transition. We got about 5 minutes left in the segment. But the latest update on Damar Hamlin, of course, suffered his medical incident on Monday Night Football, went into cardiac arrest. And the latest reports is he's off the breathing tube. He's breathing well on his own. He's still technically in critical condition. They are still monitoring him, but he did FaceTime with the Buffalo Bills. Yeah. And that is amazing right there, that he was able to FaceTime with his team and, pretty much let them know, hey, man, I'm here, I'm good, and y'all guys go out there and kick some ass. So scary moments on Monday night. Yeah. Reactions, Alex.
I was watching it live, and I was just confused, and I kept rewinding and watching it back. I was like, what happened here? What could have caused what's going on right now? It didn't look like really anything.
I first thought that he got concussed on the hit, and then he just was. I thought he was concussed, and he was dazed, and he fell backwards. That's what I thought.
I knew it was more than that because you've never seen somebody react like that to a concussion. Yeah, they'll stumble, but they'll never just completely collapse.
And before we move, we dive into this a little bit more. Shout out to those first responders, man.
Yes. The assistant trainer for the Buffalo Bills.
My goodness, dude.
He saved a man's life. And
literally.
If there's anybody who deserves a raise, it's not a player, it's that man.
His name is Denny Kellington.
Yes.
Yeah,
there we go.
I mean, I know people like to pray and all that. And that's fine. That's what you have to do whenever there's a situation out of your control.
Yeah.
But those first responders, especially the EMTs, because and the nurses, the doctors at the University of Cincinnati, because they say he died again. They had to revive him. He had to be revived twice. Once on the field, and then once as he was taken in.
It's crazy, right? That's crazy.
So,
But yeah, man. So what were your thoughts, Marcos, when that whole situation went down?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I wasn't watching the game yet because it was like the first quarter,
Yeah.
It was very, very early on in the game, and I hadn't quite just gotten to turning it on yet. And then my dad comes in, and he's like, "Hey, turn on Monday Night Football." Like a player just like passed out. He's like on the field. It's been like 10 minutes.
It was so surreal, and the way ESPN handled their coverage as well, I got to give them credit. Because
Lisa Salters.
Lisa Salter, Scott Van Pelt, Ryan Clark, Booger McFarland, all those guys with no safety net, no information.
The 20-minute span was just insane. Because if you were watching it on ESPN like I was, they came in a minute late. Like there was already a minute gone in the game because of the Rose Bowl coverage. So we came in a minute gone within the first quarter, and everybody was kind of just settling in to watch the game, and then boom, it's automatically everything shut down. This is a serious thing we got going on.
Yeah. So
and shout out to Joe and Troy too. They handled it amazingly. I could not imagine being put in their situation.
So the long and short of this, of course, it appears that Damar Hamlin is on his way and recovering, still in critical condition, and the NFL will be paying. It's not tribute. They're not paying tribute. They are. I think they're just like celebrating.
Just love.
Yeah, they're showing him. They're giving him they're showing him love before every game, and players have patches on the shirts and everything like that. So, yeah, man, the Damar Hamlin situation, that was something else, and thankfully it looks like he's on the road to recovery. All right, guys, we're gonna move on here. Episode number 100. 2-year anniversary show. Get your takes in here on the text line, 361-882-5397. Who's the NFC quarterback that you trust the least heading into the playoffs? That is our question of the day. Make sure you hit us up on the text line. Get in. Coming up next, we're going to quick transition to some college football because the playoffs were absolutely crazy, and it's TCU versus Georgia tomorrow night for the national championship. We'll give our predictions and our takes on that. Keep it locked. It's episode number 100 of the Sunday Sports Rush. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush, episode number 100, with you till 11 a.m. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to talk some NBA. Yeah, we're going to go around the hardwood, talk some NBA, talk some association, catch up with what's happening over there. 361-882-5397. Get your takes into the text line. Shout out to Tom. Tom is in here. Tom says, happy birthday, Sunday Sports Rush. Hope you have 1,000 more. Doing a great job. Thank you, Tom, for getting in. 361-882-5397. Steve is also in here. Shout out to Steve. Steve says, congratulations with a trophy emoji. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate y'all guys out there getting in. 361-882-5397. Our question of the day is, who is the NFC quarterback that you trust the least heading into the playoffs. Now, I know Weister had a take on Jared Goff that he wanted to get across, so go ahead, Weister.
So, looking at his splits again, and the reason why I want to preface this is because the Lions would come in as the 7 seed, so they would have only away games. Looking at his home stats, they've been phenomenal this year. He's had a 66% completion percentage at home, 23 touchdowns, 3 picks, 2,500 yards. Taking a pivot to his road stats, he's got over 2% less on his completion percentage, only 6 passing touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, and he has 700 less passing yards.
Those are some crazy splits. And tonight, of course, they're on the road in Green Bay. It could be a win or get in for the Lions if the Seahawks lose to the Rams earlier in the day.
And not to mention, a couple of those road teams have been playoff teams. Now, the Patriots are not a lock to get in, but they were one of the teams. And the other one, notably, was Dallas.
Oh, okay. We got some more reaction here. 361-882-5397. Who's the NFC quarterback you trust the least? Luis is in here. Luis says Kirk Cousins. I think that's fair.
It is fair.
I think that's fair. We've seen, and Kirk's kind of developed a reputation and a resume where when the moment shines brightest, he tends to not play as well. So that is a fair take on Kirk.
His alter ego, primetime Kirk Cousins.
We got Frank in here. Frank says Dak bootleg ass. Okay. So that's obviously a shot at Dak Prescott. He does not trust Dak Prescott. Mark's in here. Mark says Dak Prescott has a passer rating of 87.9 with 1,048 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions in 4 games in the playoffs in his career. Not amazing, but not worrying to me. All right, well, there we go. Those are some of Dak's playoff stats right there. Mark's not that worried about Dak Prescott. Who are you worried about heading into the playoffs? Who do you trust the least in the NFC out of the quarterbacks? 361-882-5397. All right, let's go ahead and let's talk about some college football. Let's transition to that because the playoffs happened last week, and my God, was it one of the best playoffs that we've ever had?
Oh, absolutely.
I think yes. TCU, the Hypno-Toad. TCU 51, Michigan 45. They advanced.
I love it.
Nobody thought these guys had a chance at all. Everybody thought Michigan was going to blow them out. Even from the first play, Michigan rambled off like a 60-yard run. But then Michigan, on that first possession, they get it inside the 2-yard line. They go for it on 4th down. They try some stupid trick play, tossing it around in the backfield instead of just running it right up the gut. They faltered, and then TCU goes on to take the lead. McCarthy, the quarterback from Michigan, threw 2 pick sixes. Max Duggan, quarterback of TCU, accounted for 4 touchdowns, and that TCU defense held off the Michigan Wolverines, and now TCU is in the Natty, gentlemen. My goodness, what a time to be alive. TCU is the first Texas school to win a college football playoff game, the first Texas school to make it to a national championship game since Texas did it way back in 2009. So that is incredible right there. Shout out to TCU. We got some Max Duggan audio. They talked to Max Duggan post-game right on the field as he was celebrating with his TCU mates. And here's quarterback Max Duggan on the win versus Michigan.
Max, after the Big 12 championship game, you were in tears because you wanted this team to win a conference title. Now you're headed to the national title. Where are your emotions right now?
Yeah, no, this is, it's so exciting. We're going to celebrate this one, but, we got a bigger one coming up, and that's the one that we want. So, that's one we're looking forward to.
A back-and-forth game with momentum shifts. What was your mentality in this game, especially without your running back, Kendre Miller?
Yeah, momentum's huge, especially in college football. Whoever has it, is probably going to be pretty successful. And I think our guys did a great job of staying neutral, not getting too highs on the highs, not getting too low. Just continuing to fight, continuing to, stay grounded. And I think you saw our guys fight, to the very end.
There he is, Max Duggan, semifinal quarterback, Heisman finalist, heading to the national championship game. Now, moving on, does anybody else have anything to say about TCU before we move on to the next game?
Just an impressive season. I mean, it was a debate if they were even going to make it to the playoffs coming in. And
it was a debate y'all manufactured.
We did talk about it on the show. Alabama or TCU?
This was a debate manufactured by Bama fans and SEC diehards. There was never a doubt TCU was going to make it.
Marcos, any thoughts on TCU, the Frogs?
Well, there was a doubt that they were going to make it. A lot of people were talking about it. It was one of the major sports conversations.
I mean, they lost to Kansas State. It's not like they just waltzed their way into the playoff.
Whether they should have or they shouldn't have was not really a debate, but it was a debate.
In this game that they deserved to be in.
Yes.
Yeah.
They started off hot, and that carried them throughout the game because they were outscored in the second half 30-39 by Michigan, who was fighting hard to come back, and it was an electric game. Both of the games this weekend were electric, but TCU, they surprised a lot of people by making it, and it showed the fight that they have.
And it wasn't just two games. You guys forget about the other game that was really good, the Cotton Bowl. Tulane beating USC.
That was
a
good.
Fantastic
So
game.
never mind. I'll tell off air.
Okay, that's fine, I guess.
I just realized it's kind of a cringe story.
All right, well, save the cringiness for off air. That was an awesome game, the Cotton Bowl. Tulane, great story. And once again, Lincoln Riley's defense and Alex Grinch, defensive coordinator, just crapped the bed.
Did you see the stats that I sent you about how bad his defenses are? Yeah, this guy still has a job.
I don't know how he has a job, man.
Dude, and
he had one good season with Washington, and that's it.
And USC's defense, they look so small compared to other teams. Like, can they not recruit? I mean, this has been even Oklahoma. At least they had some bigger looking guys, but wow, that was bad, dude.
361-882-5397. Let us know your thoughts on the college football playoffs. Let's move on to the semifinal that happened later on in the evening. The Georgia Bulldogs 42, Ohio State 41. It was a Stetson Bennett game-winning drive. 5 plays, 72 yards, and Aiden. It was capped off by this Bennett to Mitchell touchdown with 1 minute left to give the Dogs the lead and ultimately the win.
In the final minute, Bennett from the pocket, launches to the end zone, caught, touchdown, A.D. Mitchell.
Oh, my goodness. Chris Fowler on the call, ESPN. Great call by Fowler. Love his enthusiasm as always. Bennett made some damn throws on that drive, dude. There was one down the seam, down the middle, where he just put an absolute dart on him.
Yeah.
And the thing about Stetson Bennett is this. I feel that he gets overlooked a lot because, of course, he's surrounded by a great team. We know that, so he kind of takes a hit on his resume because he's surrounded by pro athletes everywhere on that Georgia offense and defense. But he did it last year. He's done it this year. He's taken them to back-to-back national title games, and he manufactured a game-winning drive at that. Stetson Bennett is a dude. He might not be an NFL dude, but he is a college football dude, and he might go down as one of the greatest college football quarterbacks of all time if he was and that Georgia team were to get the victory tomorrow night.
And also, it was a game that he had to win off of his arm.
Yeah.
Because Georgia's defense just did not show up to play that game. C.J. Stroud, give him credit. Best performance of his collegiate career. Saved it for the best moment. I've always noticed Ryan Day always gets Ohio State ready for these semifinal games.
Yeah, you're right.
Lost a close one to Clemson. Blew out Clemson the following year. They didn't make. I don't think they made it last year, but they didn't because Michigan made it. But yeah, just a great game and. It sucks to see how things unfolded in the end. Although I am a Georgia supporter.
You are. Go ahead, Marcos.
I would like to say Georgia fans and Georgia themselves would definitely say that this is nowhere near their best game that they played. They did not play great football. Jalen Carter was nowhere to be found. They did not play the game that they wanted to play, but they won. Yes. When that matters, because champions win games on bad days.
I am so happy you said that because they did show that championship medal, that mentality, that we've been there, done that. The moment didn't get too big for them. They almost lost it. Their star cornerback, Kaylee Ringo, was getting torn up by Marvin Harrison Jr. all game long.
Okay, well.
Aiden did mention C.J. Stroud had a hell of a game, which he did, showed me a lot, and I'm excited about his pro prospects.
His draft stock was slipping, but now I think he's for sure number 2.
He's the number 2 quarterback behind Bryce, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Behind Bryce Young of Alabama. Alex, go ahead.
And can we talk about Marvin Harrison? it's not like we're talking about a bum here. We're talking about the son of an NFL legend who himself has been absolutely amazing so far. And only a sophomore.
Absolute guns a-blazing off the field. Hopefully he doesn't have his daddy's guns a-blazing off the field.
Yes, and the big key in that game was he was knocked out of the game.
Yes.
Rather early on that hit in the back of the end zone.
And Ohio State also didn't have Jackson Smith-Njigba, that dude is a stud.
Now, I want to play...
Ohio State still had chances to win this game. When you're up by 2 touchdowns, you need to close it out.
I want to play the audio of the missed field goal because Ohio State had a chance to win it, and the kicker absolutely pulled it left. Here is the missed kick from Ohio State.
It's on the way. No good. He hooked it. And Georgia is going to survive. At the stroke of midnight, the first few seconds of 2023, Ohio State falls one kick short.
What a call again, Chris Fowler.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it did happen as the countdown clock was striking midnight on the East Coast. So it all lined up, man, and Georgia is back in the national championship game. Around the table real quickly, let's make our predictions. It is Georgia.
Oh, it's happening Monday.
It is TCU. It's going down tomorrow night, and I am looking at the line right now. The current line is
Georgia 12.5.
Yep.
Wow.
12.5.
I wonder what the line would be if they were playing Michigan.
Does TCU stand a chance tomorrow night?
I'm gonna refer back to a game that happened like 13 years ago. Florida and Oklahoma. I think they're gonna slug it out the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
I think Georgia pulls away and gets a touchdown to kind of put it to bed. I just think that Georgia was tested by Ohio State, and they're gonna come better prepared against TCU. I feel like that was their chance to lose, and they didn't. So, TCU, I'll give them credit. They'll be in this game, but give me Georgia 27, TCU 17.
All right. What about you, Weister?
If I'm going to look stupid, I'm going to look stupid in style. I'm taking TCU in this game. It's going to be very close, as Aiden said. I think Georgia is not going to go down without the fight of their life. I'm going to take TCU 31, Georgia 30.
Wow. What about you, Marcos?
I have no idea where to go with this game. I mean, I want TCU to win. I think Georgia's gonna win. I have no idea what the score is gonna be. Give me Georgia 38, TCU 35.
Oh, okay, close game right there. I'm going with my heart here. And I know I should be going with Georgia, and they're the overwhelming favorite, but my heart wants TCU to win. I want the Hypno-Toads to be the national champions. I want it coming back to Texas. I want it coming back to the DFW. Max Duggan has the game of his life tomorrow, and TCU is going to win this game by a final score of 37-34 over Georgia.
And I mean, a lot of the nation's going to root for TCU.
Yeah.
I'm a big Georgia guy, so I wouldn't be too upset if either team won, but yeah.
I can absolutely see you guys in here next week talking about, man, what a game that was. Georgia came in and absolutely destroyed them, and it's like 45-14.
I mean, that could very well happen, and that's going to wrap up our college football discussion. If you have a take on college football, get it into the text line 361-882-5397. It is our 100th show. It is our 2-year anniversary, and we are partying all the way till 11 a.m. So hit us up on the text line 361-882-5397. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of NBA, and we're also going to get to your responses on who is the NFC quarterback that you trust the least heading into the playoffs. Keep it locked. You're listening to the Sunday Sports Rush. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush. It's episode number 100. It is our 2-year anniversary, and damn it, we feel good about it. Cowboys game day as well. Cowboys and Commanders today at 3:30. Pre-game show at 2:30 right here on News Talk KEYS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. Aaron's in here on the text line. Shout out to Aaron, 361-882-5397. Aaron says, congrats to y'all on the major milestone of reaching 100 episodes. Keep up the great work every Sunday. The NFC quarterback I don't trust in the playoff is Kirk Cousins. With a playoff record of 1-3, you may get an upset of the Giants beating the Vikings in the playoffs. That's true. We talked about that. The Giants do look like a team that can be a little bit frisky come playoff time.
It depends. If that game is one of the noon Sunday games, then yeah. Then I think the Kirk Cousins has a better chance.
Yeah, when Church. Time out.
Hey, you're not wrong.
Hey, Church Cousins.
You're not wrong.
That's fair.
Sunday noon games. It's Church Cousins. That's a nickname.
Church Cousins. Alex knows.
That was such a Freudian slip, and I was just like, yeah, if Church has a good game.
That's also a nickname that I haven't heard for him.
Really? Church Cousins?
I have not heard that.
All right, we're coining it right now. If Kirk is playing a 12 o'clock noon game, he's Church Cousins because he's pretty holy with the football.
No. He has to win, though.
Yeah, of course. All right, well, thanks for getting in, Aaron. We appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. Anthony's in here. Anthony says, congrats. Still listening and still enjoying. Well, thank you, Anthony, for being a supporter of the show. 361-882-5397. Get your takes in here. Let us know who's the NFC quarterback you trust the least. And also, how do you feel about the Cowboys heading into the playoffs? Are you confident in the Cowboys? Are you a little bit reserved with the Cowboys? Do you not want to get your heart broken once again? Let us know how you feel about the Cowboys heading into the playoffs. 361-882-5397. But right now, guys, it's time to talk some NBA. It's our debut segment of the NBA this season. Let's go! The NBA! It's been happening since October, but we've damn near ignored it.
And not only has it been happening, this is probably the most electric season that I might have ever
There's
watched.
like 10 MVP candidates right now.
Not to mention that, there's, I think, 6 people averaging 30 a
That's
game.
what I'm saying. It's ridiculous.
And there's a lot of teams with a lot of mid records.
Yes.
Like at least 60 to 70% of the league have mid records.
So what's been happening in the NBA? Let's kind of catch you up a little bit, all right?
A lot of teams are talented, and I guess also in the regular season, defense isn't played as hard as it is in the playoffs.
So just kind of looking at the standings here a little bit, the Boston Celtics are the 1 seed in the East, but
well-deserved.
It's very tight in the East. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. The Celtics, Nets, Bucks, Cavs, and Sixers are separated by 3 games. Very, very tight in the East. The Nets have been hot. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games, and Kevin Durant, he's putting up just some crazy-ass numbers, dude. Kevin Durant's having, I don't want to say it's a career year because Kevin Durant's had fabulous years throughout his career, but this is a really good MVP caliber Kevin Durant.
Yeah, he's in the thick of the MVP race right now.
And, you know, a lot of people have questioned, like, their team chemistry with the last couple years with Kyrie and the controversy and him hopping on and off, and then the James Harden stuff, him coming in late in the year, a couple seasons back, and then him leaving, you know. But this team, I saw a clip the other day of they were drawing up the final play for them in a game-winning scenario. The coach obviously draws it up for KD. He says, no, draw that up for Kai. Draw that up for Kyrie. Kyrie sinks the shot, they win. That just, like, they have grown as a group, and over the last, like, 10 games, a little bit more than that, they've looked great.
Yeah, LeBron did the same thing in that NBA Finals Game 7. It was the play was drawn for LeBron, and he said give it to Kyrie.
Kyrie's a shooter.
All the issues with chemistry and the coaching, and then Kyrie's off the court issues. That's all been put to bed now. They're on a roll right now.
So let me just go over some things that happened this week because there was a ton. Donovan Mitchell scored 71 points on Monday, the most since Kobe.
I hate to say it, but he picked the worst night to score 71.
I know.
Man. Poor Donovan.
No one talked about it.
It got overlooked a little bit, but Donovan did drop 71 for the Cavs. He's been a great addition to the Cavs, and the Cavs look frisky. Klay Thompson dropped 54 points on Monday in a double overtime win versus the Hawks. That was pretty incredible, too. Go ahead.
I would like to talk about that Donovan Mitchell game. That was not overlooked by anybody. That was all over the place.
Well, yeah. It just so happened to happen on the night of the Damar Hamlin incident. So
any other night, it would have been the biggest topic in sports for a week, 2 weeks, whatever. But that night, it wasn't the most important.
I know I've talked about this with you guys already, but according to GameScore, that was the 3rd best single game performance in NBA history.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, you got Wilt's 100, what did Kobe drop, 80?
That wasn't even in there.
Even Luka's 60-20-10 game is up there.
That was number 6.
Damn, dude, I'm telling you, the NBA has just been crazy. Giannis Antetokounmpo is absolutely having an incredible stretch right now.
Per usual.
I mean, he's on a 5-game stretch that hasn't been seen in the past 50 years. Giannis is just putting up crazy-ass numbers. I mean, he dropped 55 versus the Wizards, 43 versus the T-Wolves, 45 versus the Bulls. The stat lines here. Versus the T-Wolves, 43 points, 20 rebounds, 5 assists. At the Bulls, 45 points, 22 rebounds, 7 assists. Giannis is doing absolutely incredible. Now let's look at the West. The Nuggets are the 1 seed. They're half a game up on the Grizzlies, who are the 2 seed. Pelicans are the 3 seed. Mavericks are the 4 seed. And then, probably the surprise of the NBA, the Sacramento Kings are the 5th seed in the West.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
And the Kings have a really good home atmosphere, man. Those games up there in Sacramento, they go crazy.
Like the Beacon.
Yeah, they go crazy.
The De'Aaron Fox-Sabonis connection has been a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
They developed good chemistry with each other. They're doing a pick-and-roll thing going on.
Now, something else that's also surprising in the West is the Phoenix Suns are the 7th seed and the Golden State Warriors are the 8th seed, both teams at 20-20.
Well, I think, both teams have had injuries. Devin Booker has been out. Then you have Steph Curry as well. The Clippers are also right there with them as well. Expecting more out of them. And then the Lakers, of course, they're the mid-Lakers. I know they've been playing well lately, but, I mean, it's
they're 6-4 in their last 10 games.
I mean, it's a long season.
Go ahead, Alex.
Is it just me, or is the West the more fun conference to watch?
They are the more fun conference to watch.
Because you look at the top teams. Denver, they have Jokic, who's, I mean, it's
an electric.
It's unlike anything you could ever watch.
Yes.
Memphis, they got Ja Morant. New Orleans, they have Zion.
Zion is hurt, though. He's going to be out for 3 weeks with a hamstring.
But even then, they have Brandon Ingram and a lot of guys on that team that are young and fast.
And then Dallas with Luka.
I mean, Sacramento has all those young guys. You got the Clippers with Kawhi and company. I mean, yeah, the West is loaded.
If the Nuggets, Grizzlies, Pelicans, Clippers, I forgot. There's another team I'm forgetting. But if they make the finals, I'd be happy.
Another thing, Luka's been balling, and the Mavs are 8-2 in their last 10. And the Mavericks are looking pretty good. And then let me just get this note in here real quick. LeBron James did turn 38 years old earlier this week. Since he's turned 38 years old, he's averaging 38 points a game, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 61% from the field, and 67% from the free throw stripe. So LeBron is doing quite good, and the Lakers are 3-0 since he turned 38. Look,
I mean, it's LeBron.
It's LeBron, man. I mean, what can you say? He's balling out of his mind, and maybe he could get the Lakers back into the play-in tournament or whatever. But there we go. NBA talk.
If you think of actually, James, the Lakers last year had a better record at this point.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But the NBA season is still kind of young.
Long. There's still 3 or 4 full months of play.
Yeah, and we'll be talking a lot more NBA as the season progresses. It's episode number 100. It's our 2-year anniversary. Get in here to the text line. You're listening to the Sunday Sports Rush. Coming up next, it's NFL headlines. Keep it locked. Good morning, Corpus Christi, Coastal Bend, and listeners worldwide. Welcome on in. It's episode number 100 of the Sunday Sports Rush right here on News Talk KEYS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. The whole squad is in here. It's James Espinosa, Aiden Ducker behind the glass.
Love it.
Marcos Matakin is in the building.
What's up, James?
And Alex Weister's with us.
Glad to be here.
We're here. It's episode number 100. We got one more hour left with you. It's also our 2-year anniversary as a show, and we've been getting showered with congratulations and all these, nice things that y'all guys have sent into us, you listening audience, men, women, all that. We appreciate y'all so much for getting in. Hit us up on the text line, 361-882-5397.
Man, I'm shook.
I am. I'm shook, man. Y'all guys are showing us a lot of love out there. And we appreciate that so much. Let's go ahead and let's get to Twitter. I got some Twitter mentions here I want to get to. At Sir Edward James, if you want to follow me on Twitter. War Eagle is in here. War Eagle sends a Bitmoji that says, Happy 100. All right. Thank you, War Eagle.
War Eagle, a very
loyal listener.
Yeah, he was there from the start. Him and Favors.
Yeah, great friend of the show.
Where's Favors at, man?
I don't know.
Where you go if you're listening? Shout out to our, holler at our boy.
Yeah, holler at our boy. We got Marie in Denver in here. Marie in Denver just sends a gift that says, "Yay!" Celebrating our 100 anniversary show. Thank you so much, Marie.
At least you have the Nuggets to cheer. Oh, and the Avalanche to cheer for.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the Broncos,
Denver. That's pretty cool. Love that city.
Yeah.
Going to the text line, 361-882-5397. Ryan L. is in the text line, and he answered our question. Who is the NFC quarterback that you trust the least heading into the playoffs? That is our question of the day. Ryan L. says, happy 100th. Y'all are the best. He has TCU 31, Georgia 27. All right, I like that. And he also has this to say, and I'm sorry to say it, and I'm not hating, but Dak Prescott is the quarterback that he trusts the least heading into the playoffs. Hey, no big deal. No big deal, Ryan. We appreciate you getting in, and thank you for being a good friend of the show, man. We appreciate the well wishes.
I will say, though, in Dak's defense here, both of Dak's playoff losses came off poor defensive play.
He has 3 playoff losses.
Well, I mean, but the two that stick out to my mind, I'm okay. The Niners one, okay, the whole team didn't play well.
Yeah.
But the one with the Packers, Aaron Rodgers left the defense, and then the Rams. He had a 300-pound C.J. Anderson just running for 200 yards.
Yeah, looking like Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, that was horrible.
And then Todd Gurley on one leg had to run too.
Go ahead, Alex.
I was wondering why we didn't set this up for the AFC as well, but I was looking at it, I was like, that's such a hard question to answer for the AFC when you look at all the amazing quarterbacks that are in the playoffs for them.
For one, I set it up for the NFC because of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then 2, there's a lot of young, inexperienced quarterbacks in the NFC that haven't gone and been there, minus Rodgers and Brady.
I mean, if you were to make the argument, I probably would say either Tua or Trevor Lawrence.
No, I'd say Mac Jones or Kenny Pickett.
The Bills are not losing to the Pats.
I'd probably say Lamar Jackson because he always chokes in the playoffs.
Nah.
Okay, whatever. But that's a debate for another day. We'll talk about that. But if you have a take on the NFC quarterbacks you trust the least, please let us know. We would appreciate that so much. And we'll get to your text, 361-882-5397.
Lamar covers up a lot of deficiencies for the Ravens.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
So he gets leeway there.
We'll see if he's back for the playoffs, and that's a great segue to our NFL Headlines segment. So let's get right into it. NFL Headlines, Week 18, the last week of the regular season. My God, it's your last week to NFL Red Zone. It's your last week to use NFL Sunday Ticket. Honestly, one of the saddest weeks of the year, knowing that there's not going to be a full NFL slate till next season, but it's also very exciting because the playoffs are upon us. Now, some headlines that made news over the course of this past week. Jim Harbaugh is close to accepting an NFL deal, according to multiple reports. The Colts and the Broncos are in the mix. And also, something that came out a little bit later in the week, Harbaugh and the Panthers have, quote-unquote, talked about the Panthers' head coaching job. Will Jim Harbaugh be an NFL coach next year, Marcos?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers have talked to every single...
In quotes, yes.
Every single potential head coach out there.
I just want a good coach to challenge Brady in that horrible division. But that's if Brady stays as a butt.
Yeah.
I don't think he's retiring.
What do you think about this scenario of Jim Harbaugh, Alex? Do you see him going to the NFL?
Can I see it? Yes. Will he? No.
Fair enough.
And to Aiden's point, I know he's probably banking on the fact that, or no, you're probably not banking on it. The whole rumors of Sean Payton and Brady going to the Saints.
Oh my God.
We've already touched on this. I've already given my point on that.
That would kill you. If Brady was your quarterback and you had to root for Tom?
I mean,
if I had to, I wouldn't.
I mean, there's been plenty of players that here's the thing. I was not a Justin Verlander fan at all. I thought he was overrated as a Tiger, and then he became an Astro. I was like, oh, this guy.
And now we
really
love
good.
him. I used to hate Terrell Owens on the Eagles. He became a Cowboy and had 3 amazing years, and I loved him, and I still have his jersey till this day. It happens. It happens. Moving on. Next topic. Sean Payton is apparently going to interview for the Denver Broncos head coaching job. The Broncos got permission from the Saints to conduct an in-person interview, which will happen on January the 17th, because that is the first day that in-person interviews can happen for head coaching candidates. So Sean Payton to the Broncos. That is interesting.
So you think they'll take Vic Fangio back in the organization?
I mean,
that's who Payton wants to run his defense.
It's not if they will, it's if he will let them.
It's a new ownership. It's not the Bolins.
Same front office, though.
But it's not the Bolins anymore. It's the Waltons now. It's the Walmart empire. The sons and cousins and all that crap. They run the Broncos now.
And it doesn't matter. It's not him coming back as head coach. It's him coming back as a coordinator, which he was fantastic
And
at.
this is the thing right here. The Broncos as a franchise are so desperate right now that they'd be willing to give up probably a first-round pick to get Sean Payton from the Saints because they're going to try and save face for this disastrous year one under Russell Wilson. And let me finish my point, please. And the Saints, all right? The Saints, right? Hold up. Let me get back to my train of thought here. The Broncos are desperate, right? Russell Wilson crapped the bed. They need a quarterback whisperer, and that is Sean Payton. And he could come into the Broncos organization, and he could probably fix Russell Wilson. I could see the Broncos going full speed ahead for Sean Payton. Okay, Aiden, I didn't mean to be so rude, but I just need to finish my point.
Okay, Shannon Sharp.
Wait.
Let me finish my point, Skip.
I'm not skipping.
Man.
I'm just joking.
Actually,
Go
I have
ahead.
a heart. What first-round picks do the Broncos got? I thought they traded him off for Russ.
It's not the fact of what they have. They're gonna have to give up something.
They need to get a head coach. They need to get a proven leader.
Yeah.
That locker room is all over the place. Russ was getting slandered all year long, and nobody once came out to defend their quarterback. Nobody, no players, no coaches.
They did at the end of the season.
At the end of the season, it was literally last week when a couple players all came out at the same time.
It was Jerry Jeudy,
I guarantee you the interim coach is like, where are y'all standing up for your guys? It's not just Russ. It's all this locker room.
Okay, so looking at the Broncos, draft order, looking at the Packers draft order, they don't have a first-round pick, and they don't have a second-round pick.
That's what I'm saying.
So it'd have to be for next year.
Yeah.
Not even next year. Didn't they trade next year's picks too?
I'm not sure.
They got to give us something.
I'm only looking at 2023, but if they want Sean Payton, they're going to have to do something and pull something out of their ass to get him. That's just what has to happen. Now, we'll see what happens. Sean Payton, of course, probably will interview for other jobs. Probably will be a head coach at some point. Now, more head coaching news here. Sean McVay is uncertain about his future, according to reports out of ESPN. They're saying that Sean McVay could look into going into TV, and that there's reports that he is, quote, burned out of being an NFL head coach. So Sean McVay could be about to bail on the Rams after the Rams traded away everybody. The Rams look like an aging team. Matthew Stafford is hurt guy now. I don't know.
Cooper Kupp got hurt. Even Aaron Donald got hurt.
It makes sense that McVay would bail.
I heard somebody make the point. It would have looked a lot better if he had just done it last year.
Yep.
It would have looked so much better. And another point I want to make is I really hope Aaron Donald doesn't retire and he goes somewhere else. Because if they're really going to start gutting this team, which they all likely should, because, I mean,
they have no future.
Stafford, his future is very uncertain.
There's rumors that he might retire.
He should. He really should if he's concerned about his health.
Look, they got their Super Bowl, and banners hang forever.
Yes.
So if Sean McVay decides to walk away because the franchise is pretty much going down the toilet, then I can't blame him for doing that. Go ahead, Marcos.
But you know what people could say? They could say, do you want to listen to the coach that led their Super Bowl winning team to the worst season any Super Bowl team has ever had?
Fair, they had a bunch of injuries.
Yes, but do you want to listen to that guy on TV? Like, I'm sure he's going to be great at it. He has all the characteristics of it. But yes, to Alex's point, he probably should have left last year if he was going to do it on top. Probably would have got a bigger bag anyways. Yes. You know, it kind of shows like how much do you really love football if you're willing to go out on your lowest point.
He'll be back
with the future. He's young.
Mind, to piggyback, I wouldn't mind seeing McVay as an analyst. You've seen him in press conferences before. He's very cerebral when it comes to the game.
Oh, I can remember every play. Oh, I'm so badass.
James doesn't. You don't like McVay.
He annoys me.
You're mad that he has a.
He just annoys me a little bit. But hey, you know, whatever happens.
You're mad that Stafford lit up opposed defense using a white receiver.
What?
I just want to see Aaron Donald on the Ravens.
That'd be interesting. All right, so let's get into some more NFL news. The Bengals are pissed off that a coin toss could determine the wild card. Because if the Bengals lose to the Ravens today, then they're going to have to flip a coin to determine who would host the game between the Ravens and Bengals in the wild card game. And the Bengals are pissed off about it, Alex.
I find it so interesting that just a few days ago, they were all for, just whatever happens. We're all for Damar Hamlin's health. And they have flipped a switch so fast. They were like, oh, yeah, it's great and all. We just want him to be healthy. We care about him. And now it's like, okay, well, what about us now?
Here's the full scenario. The coin flip scenario comes into play if the Ravens win today against the Bengals and the Chargers win against the Broncos, which, the Chargers beating the Broncos could probably happen. The Ravens beating the Bengals, that's, I don't know.
If you lose this game against the Ravens, you deserve to coin flip for even if you deserve to be in the playoffs because they are practically punting this game.
Lamar's not going to play. Nick Huntley, he's just a bag of...
Tyler Huntley.
Or Tyler Huntley. He doesn't even deserve for me to mention his real name. That's how bad he's been.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. They're pretty upset. Debo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell are back with the 49ers just in time for the playoffs. That's huge.
That spells doom for the Seahawks.
That's huge.
Doom for the NFC.
Yeah, that's scary right there. And of course, we've talked about Brock Purdy and his prospects in the playoffs. Go ahead, Marcos.
There's been multiple reports that the coin flip, since the NFL has received a backlash, that they're like, oh, we were only saying that might happen.
Yeah.
Because it only might happen.
Yes,
yeah.
you remember,
it's not in stone yet.
You remember whenever there was reports that they were going to resume the game in 5 minutes?
Yes.
And the NFL was like, oh, we actually didn't say that whenever they got the pushback.
I don't know about that one because Joe Buck on the telecast said that he heard from an NFL official that was the word.
That's what I'm saying. I think that they just heard the pushback and they're like, oh, we're definitely not doing a coin flip.
Are they also forgetting the fact that if the Bengals just win, this doesn't matter?
Yeah, just win the game.
It's not that hard.
I used to I was rooting for this Bengals team even last year, but now I'm kind of a little ticked off that they feel this entitled.
Yeah.
Wow, that's what happens, man, when playoffs come around.
I love Joe Burrow, but Mike Brown is can I say hard ass? He's kind of a hard ass.
You can say hard ass.
Yeah. That's how he is.
So there we go. That's NFL headlines. That was pretty contentious. And Aiden, I'm sorry I had to scold you a little.
I had to wipe tears from my eyes. I was laughing so hard.
I feel like this is one of my worst shows I've ever done.
No, it isn't. Stop.
Let me finish.
I am off my game today. It's because of the 2-week break. We're on
It's
air.
fine. It's fine.
Go ahead.
It was even better with the fact that he held up his hand. Let me finish.
Hey, go ahead, Skip.
Go ahead, Skip.
Episode number 100 of the Sunday Sports Rush, and we are having fun this morning. Get your takes into the text line 361-882-5397. Who's the NFC quarterback you trust the least heading into the playoffs? Let us know. Get in here. Coming up next, it's a sports grab bag of fun. Jake Paul, the MMA fighter, and a sack injury to an NHL player. Yes, that's happening next. Sports Grab Bag, Sunday Sports Rush. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush, episode number 100, our 2-year anniversary. James Espinosa, Aiden Ducker, Marcos Matakin, and Alex Weister with you all the way till 11 o'clock. It is a Cowboys game day. 2:30 pregame happening right here on Keys with a 3:30 kickoff, Cowboys and Commanders, right here on News Talk KEYS. We're going to go to the text line real quickly, 361-882-5397. Jim from Wisconsin is in the text line. Shout out to Jim. Jim says, congratulations on the 100th show. Great radio. I'm in Corpus for the winter and already turned on 2 local shows to your show. Here's to the next 100. So there we go.
I got to say.
Shout out to Jim. I appreciate you. Jim's a winter Texan. Yeah, that's badass.
I always appreciate our listeners because they have to tolerate hearing my voice on the radio. So
yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, you should appreciate me for having to tolerate your voice also.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I'm just kidding. That's just a joke, guys. It's just a joke. Me and Aiden have known each other. We can joke like that.
There was no joke in those eyes. He said, that was 100. Yeah. That was 100 episodes of pure agony, pain just released.
It's all coming out now, 100 episodes in. The disdain.
The beginning of the end.
Honestly, this board here is my breaking point right now.
Yeah. Well, you're my breaking point. Just kidding. All right, Aiden, I'm glad you're here. Aiden, I love you, man. We're just joking around. 361-882-5397. Shout out to Jim for getting in. Much appreciated. Much love for Jim. We got someone who answered our question, who's the NFC quarterback you trust the least? Let's go to Andres Alegria because he's one of our good friends. Andres says, the least would have to be Daniel Jones for me. Good argument could be made for Cousins because we've seen it, but he just has so much damn talent around him to fail epically, right? ? If we're talking most trustworthy, the answer has to be Tom Brady for sure.
I mean, of course.
So Andres is going with Daniel Jones.
I mean, Kirk Cousins is one of the only guys that I've seen throw for over 400 yards and end up losing a game.
I know.
It's kind of crazy.
It is pretty crazy right there. So thank you guys for getting in this morning. 361-882-5397. Hit us up on the text line. Give us your thoughts on the least trustworthy quarterback for the NFC going into the playoffs. And what do you think about the Cowboys and Commanders game today and how the Cowboys will do going into the playoffs? All right.
Yeah, they're going to win by like 3 touchdowns.
Let's do a sports grab bag. Sports grab bag. So just put it on some fun music or something, Aiden. This is a kind of a all over the place here. There was a crazy injury that happened in the NHL. Blake Wheeler, who plays for the Winnipeg Jets, ruptured a testicle after he was struck by a Josh Morrissey shot on December 15th. But Wheeler did not have to leave the game. He did not have to go to the hospital. He played the rest of the game with a ruptured testy. That is wild ass.
Yeah.
That takes some balls.
Man, that was a zinger. I love it.
That was off the dome, too. I
love it.
He's learning.
You're learning.
Yes. Finally, we're rubbing off on you. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Looks like he found your sus sounders.
Yeah, but the page is gone, so I have to do it like...
So, he has a ruptured testy. Is this guy just absolutely insane?
Hockey players
are
have this
insane.
thing where, like, they play through a bunch of stuff.
Do they not wear cups?
Hockey players, they don't wear really anything that should protect them. They don't wear any good face guarding, chin straps.
Just like baggy clothing.
Hockey players
they have pads and everything.
They pride themselves on being tough and whatnot.
I mean, these dudes are like laying out in front of 100-mile-per-hour slap shots.
I mean,
and literal razors on their feet.
I mean, it's like for a dentist, you're like Scrooge McDuck dumping in the money whenever you're a dentist for an NHL player.
Oh my God, yes! If you're a dentist in an NHL city, whew. Hell yeah.
You know, and arguably, I think every like old school NHL fan is like, these dudes are so soft nowadays. They're so soft. They don't they don't fight anymore. There's no goons.
So that happened in the NHL, and there's our NHL talk for the day. Jake Paul, boxer, social media influencer, Jake Paul signed a contract with PFF. What does PFF mean? Professional...
Isn't it the Professional Fighting League?
Yeah, PFL, Professional Fighting League. And he's going to move into the mixed martial arts realm. He signed a contract with them, and he's going to fight MMA. He said, this is a quote from Jake Paul. Quote, I've proven myself in and out of the boxing ring, and now I'm going to do the same in MMA. There is no limit to the positive impact I can make on the sport. I plan to enter the PFL Smart Cage and once again show the world that anything is possible with hard work and dedication. Wow, what a message from Jake Paul. Such a stand-up guy. What are our thoughts on Jake Paul going to MMA? Do we think...
That's my thought.
Let's say he wins a couple of these fights. They serve him up some tomato cans. Let's say he actually wins. Will Dana White sign him to the UFC?
Dana White?
No.
Yeah, this is the least of his worries right now.
Oh, yeah. Dana White also slapped his wife in a video that happened on vacation in Cabo.
If he puts that man in the UFC, he will get mauled.
Here's the thing, man. No, I don't even got to talk about Jake Paul. It's not worth my time.
Well, they did sign Greg Hardy. They're not above signing people.
Yeah,
just
but Greg
for
Hardy
name value.
put up some entertaining fights. I mean, he looked bad at times, but...
Yeah.
I mean, his fights weren't that awful.
His octagon awareness.
Yeah, but I don't know how he could sign Jake Paul and then keep the integrity of like we put real fighters out there in the UFC. You know what I mean?
I mean, CM Punk had a UFC match.
Jake Paul.
Why are we talking about integrity when?
Bad,
but they were not up at the same relevance.
Yeah,
as they are
but
now.
I mean, if CM Punk is in the UFC, Jake Paul could have a UFC match. Let's just be honest
He's
with
got
ourselves.
to prove himself because it would be an utter failure if he puts him in the ring with
Like
somebody.
Brock
he's
going to get whooped.
Brock Lesnar, at least he was a talented wrestler.
Yes.
He was a heavyweight champion, defended that title a couple
Yeah.
times.
And Jake Paul does have a wrestling background, albeit high school.
I think if we're talking Logan, we're talking a different story.
Yeah,
Logan was a much better wrestler than Jake, I believe.
That's true. That's true. The XFL's kicking off on February 18th, so that's happening.
We had a
Shout out to
former
the
Flower
XFL.
Bluff
Go
receiver,
Roughnecks.
Texas A&M Kingsville alum Aaron Dilworth.
Yeah.
drafted.
He is in the XFL. So there we go. That was just a little quick sports grab bag to kind of cruise around the sporting landscape. All right. So coming up next, it's week 18. We're going to do our last week of NFL Pick'em. We'll go down the Sunday slate. We'll give you our picks. We'll give you our thoughts on everything week 18. We only have 30 minutes left with you, so make sure you get in. 361-882-5397. Hit us up on the text line. It's episode number 100. It's our 2-year anniversary. Let's have fun. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush, News Talk KEYS. With you till 11 a.m., it's episode number 100, and we're celebrating our 2-year anniversary today. The whole squad is here. James Espinosa, Adin Ducker behind the glass, Marcos Matakin to my left, and Alex Weister right in front of me. We're here at the 1440 Keys Mothership. Thank you guys for listening and getting in this morning, getting a ton of love for episode number 100 and our 2-year anniversary. Real quickly, let's do this. I'm going to get to your text after this segment. I see you guys still texting in, so don't worry. I will get to your text in the last segment. But right now, let's do some NFL Pick'em for week number 18. And on top of the Pick'em standings, once again, despite going 2-4 last week, Adin Ducker is on top with 72 wins.
Ooh.
Yes.
In second place is Alex Weister with 68. So you're 4 games back of Adin. A big upset pick could definitely swing the table here. I am in third place with 66 wins. And Marcos went 8-1 last week. Upset pick of the Seahawks. You're 52 wins, Marcos. That is quite incredible right there, despite missing the first 2 weeks of pick.
We're on the up and up.
We are on the up and up here.
I'm actually ready to make my upset pick on a game that we're not picking at all.
Ooh, all right. Well, let's go ahead and dive on into this, guys. Week 18, and let me just preface this before we get into the picks. A tweet from Adam Schefter just came out. Here are some of the starting quarterbacks for Week 18. So, mind you, keep this in mind before you make picks. Baltimore is starting Anthony Brown. Chicago's starting Nathan Peterman. Washington is starting Sam Howell. Miami's starting Skylar Thompson. The Giants are starting Davis Webb. And the Colts are starting Sam Ehlinger. Just throwing that out there. All right, first game on the docket. Bills at Patriots. Or Patriots at Bills. Patriots at Bills. And the Bills are an 8-point favorite. The Patriots have to win to get into the playoffs. A lot on the line for Bill Belichick and company. The Bills coming off, of course, that emotional incident that happened Monday night. Questions abound. Are they 100% ready for this game? What's going to happen here? Let's go ahead and make these picks. I'll go first. The Bills are going to ride that emotion. The Bills are going to do this for Hamlin. Give me Buffalo. What about you?
You were saying, are they going to be 100% for this game? Absolutely they will be. Are you kidding me?
Well, there was questions all week. Do the Bills want to play this game? Should the Bills play this game? I mean, I'm just throwing out.
If he was still in critical condition on a breathing tube, maybe. But the fact that he was in team meetings and he was giving a heartfelt talk to the team, they are going to ride and they are going to dominate this game.
So you got...
opinion. I got the Bills.
All right, you're going Buffalo. What about you, Marcos?
It was really tempting to pick the Patriots after everything that happened to Buffalo last week, and maybe they pull their guys early if stuff happens during the game to keep them healthy. But I just had some flashbacks to Von Miller on Pat McAfee's show. He goes on there every week and he talks about that team, and that team has championship culture. You know, they haven't looked consistently dominant as you'd want them to look at times this year, but they have the championship culture, and I think they bounce back from a really hard week, and I think they win this game.
All right, so you're going with the Bills, Aiden.
I mean, I wouldn't. they have to earn that name, championship culture, first of all. But I think the Patriots they're going to play for that playoff spot, and I think they're going to play the Bills tough. But I just think the Bills are a significantly better team. But I give me Bills by a touchdown.
All right, so we all go Bills in a sweep. Moving on to our next matchup, we're going to do Ravens at Bengals because there are implications to this game. If the Ravens win, and if the Chargers beat the Broncos, then there will be a coin flip for Ravens versus Bengals and who gets to host the game.
I dare one of y'all to upset the Ravens.
So Ravens at Bengals. The Ravens are currently a 9-point underdog.
I cannot in my right mind pick the Ravens to win this because it was just listed Mark Andrews is now not even playing.
Oh, my God.
They're down to their third stringer.
It's the Bengals.
And they're playing we're not talking about the Browns. We're not talking about the Steelers. This is the Bengals, the best team in that division right now. I'm taking the Bengals.
All right, you're going Bengals. You know what? I'm going to go Joey B and the Bengals as well because there's just nobody on the Ravens right now, man. Everybody's hurt or sitting. So I'm going Bengals. Aiden, you're going Bengals?
Yes.
All right, you're going Bengals. Marcos, what about you?
I got the Bengals as well.
The only way the Ravens win that is if their defense goes back to the early 2000s and they allow maybe 10 points and they get 2 pick sixes. That's it.
It's interesting, but we all got a clean sweep. Bengals over Ravens. All right, next one up. This one, Jets 7-9 at the Dolphins 8-8. The Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites. The Dolphins will be starting Skylar Thompson at quarterback. The Dolphins have to win to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Has it been named who the Jet starter is? Are they
Joe Flacco?
Joe Flacco?
I
trust Joe.
Mr. Elite himself. Will Joe Flacco and the Jets cause the Dolphins to miss the playoffs? Man, you know what? Even though the Jets aren't going to make the playoffs, the Jets can play spoiler here, and this is an NFC or an AFC East rivalry. They're division mates. They hate each other. This one has potential. Go ahead, Alex.
Jets is my upset pick.
Oh,
really?
Yes.
Jets with the upset for Alex. Okay, I like that. What about you, Marcos?
I like the Jets as well.
Yeah.
I was going to take them as my upset, but he beat me to it.
All right, so Marcos is going Jets. Aiden. Jets or Dolphins, man. The Dolphins have to win this game. There's rumors out there that if the Dolphins were to lose this game, owner Stephen Ross might clear house and get rid of Mike McDaniel in order to try and pursue Sean Payton. There's rumors out there, man. There's a lot on the line for the Dolphins here, especially Coach McDaniel. That is crazy to even think about if the Dolphins go that route.
Here's the thing. The Jets without their, the Jets without Breece Hall and then the Dolphins without Tua, but this one's tough. But it's in Miami.
It is in Miami, yes.
Give me the Dolphins.
All right, you're going to go Dolphins. That's a sound pick. I think I am going to go Dolphins as well at home. I like the Dolphins. They just have more to
play for. The Jets are out of the playoffs.
Go ahead, Marcos.
And this game actually does have further playoff implications for the Patriots as well. Because if the Patriots lose, which I think we did a clean sweep of them losing, they could still make it if the Steelers lose and the Dolphins lose, which are very real possibilities. The Steelers are playing the Browns, and we just said the Dolphins are playing the Jets.
Wow. So there we go. Yeah, playoff implications abound.
Almost every game.
Speaking of a team who needs to win to get into the playoffs, Browns at Steelers. The Browns are 7-9. At the Steelers, 8-8. Pittsburgh is home, and they are a 2.5-point favorite. Will Kenny Pickett and company win this game against the Browns team who has played pretty decent as of late? I know Deshaun ain't tearing it up, but he did have a good game recently. Amari Cooper has been stepping up as well. Seems like they're kind of forming a good partnership. Browns at Steelers. Who has this one? Go ahead, Aiden.
Give me the Steelers. They're at home. They've played better at home this year than they have on the road. They have more to play for, and I think Tomlin's going to find a way to limit.
And Kenny Pickett, he's kind of a comeback king. 4 game-winning drives this year alone. I really like Kenny Pickett in the Steelers.
He's following the Brady formula, play mid for 3.5 quarters, but turn it up late after your defense holds the opposing team's offense. Give me the Steelers.
You're going Steelers. What about you, Alex?
I think the Browns are going to come out and get a win to try and cap off what was a lackluster season
where they trying to catch up to me. I see you.
Where they sort of expected to play a lot better than they did. of course, after the Deshaun Watson trade, they hope to stay afloat with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, and they kind of did, but I think they'll try and go out on top.
You realize what's at stake here?
All right, so you're picking the Browns.
If
nice.
Mike Tomlin if the Steelers win, Mike Tomlin's streak of winning record stays alive.
Yeah, that's true. That is true right there. A streak on the line for the Steelers. Marcos, who do you got, Browns or Steelers?
I like the Steelers.
Okay.
I've been on them all year.
You're going to pick the Steelers, and you know what? I'm going to do it.
No, don't do it.
I'm going to do it. Give me the Browns as my upset pick.
They're trying to catch up to
Browns
me,
upset pick. They will go into Pittsburgh and ruin the season of the Steelers. Browns are my upset pick today. All right. We were going to pick Giants at Eagles, but everybody here is just like not having that game.
They've completely punted.
So let's go to a game that doesn't have really any implications, but it's a competitive game nonetheless. Let's go Panthers at Saints. Saints are a 3.5-point home favorite. Panthers on the road. They got really nothing to play for. Both teams have nothing to play for but pride. It's an NFC South matchup. Panthers at Saints, and I'll go to our resident Saints fan, Alex Weister, first.
As far as I'm aware, it seems like we're playing our starters. I like how we played last week. I really did. Marshawn Lattimore coming back.
Hell of a win against the Eagles.
He was absolutely key in us winning that game. I liked how the defense played. I was happy with how well the offense was able to move the ball against that Eagles defense. I'm going to take the Saints.
All right. Alex is going Saints. Let's go with you, Aiden.
Give me the Saints in this one. I did not like how the Panthers played that game against the Bucs. Absolutely just letting Mike Evans go wide open.
Their secondary is awful.
I assume J.C. Horn's not going to play.
No, he's not playing.
Yeah, so.
They just signed Josh Norman. Yeah. He's back, I guess.
Yeah, and that's C.J. Henderson. Oh, my gosh.
Marcos, who do you got? Saints?
So give me the Saints.
Saints or Panthers, Marcos?
Give me the Saints.
All righty, and you know what? I'm going to go.
Don't do it.
I have to try and catch up. I'm going to go Panthers.
Wow.
I'm playing the game. I have to try and catch up. I'm going Panthers over Saints. Next game, let's go Cowboys and Commanders.
Come on, man.
We got to pick the Cowboys game. We are the Cowboys station.
But this is going to be a clean sweep. Nobody.
Do we all have Cowboys winning against the Commanders? The Cowboys are 7-point favorites on the road.
They're starting Sam Howell.
At the Commanders. Do we all have a Cowboys clean sweep?
Yes.
I'm going Cowboys.
Don't we pick the score, too, for the Cowboys games?
I'll go Cowboys 30, Commanders 17. That's what I'm going to go, 30-17.
Cowboys 30, Commanders 14.
Okay, so you're going Cows. What about you, Marcos? Are you going Cowboys or not?
Give me the Cowboys 27-24.
Okay, and Weister, what do you got?
I'm contemplating.
This could be an upset. Could be an upset.
No.
Sam Howell, baby.
He already picked his upset.
Oh, yeah, he did. I forgot.
The Cowboys want to try and fight for that one seed at least. I think they'll come out guns blazing. I really want to at least try and pick it, but I got to go Cowboys. I'll take them 31 to the Commanders 14.
All righty. And the last game that we will pick is Sunday Night Football. If the Seahawks were to lose against the Rams, then it would be Lions at Packers, winner take all for the playoffs. If the Seahawks win against the Rams, then the Lions are eliminated, and it would just be the Packers would need a win to get in. That is what's on the line tonight for Sunday Night Football. It's Lions, it's Packers, it's in Lambeau Field, and the Packers are 5-point favorites over the Lions. Both teams are 8-8. So a lot's going to be on the line depending on what happens with the Seahawks game. Who do we got in this game? Will Aaron Rodgers get the Packers into the playoffs, Alex?
I've been told by a Packers insider, aka my dad, that if the Packers lose this game, there are going to be heads put on stakes because losing to the Lions as a Packers to get knocked out of the playoffs would be probably the most embarrassing thing that happened to the Packers in a while. I think the Packers are going to ride high. They understand what they have to play for. I'm taking the Packers.
All righty, Marcos, who do you got?
I love this Packers team. I really think that if they get into the playoffs, which I think they will, they are a team that can make a lot of noise.
They're getting hot. The defense is playing a lot better. They're special teams. They have a guy out there who's just returning kicks like crazy. I forgot his name.
And in. That's all they need to do.
I'm going to go Packers as well. It's at Lambeau. The Lions play historically piss poor in Lambeau. Give me the Packers. Go ahead, Aiden.
Give me the Packers as well. It's just you gave Aaron Rodgers an opportunity to win, to be winning in, and I think he's going to take full advantage. I like the Lions of what they've done this year as improving and whatnot, but I mean, once the Packers found something in that Christian Watson, their offense started playing a lot better.
You're right. Go ahead, Alex.
And not to mention the kick returner, Keyshawn Nixon.
That's who I was mentioning. Okay, so Aiden, did you pick an upset?
No, I didn't.
You didn't pick an upset?
I have my
Marcos
upset.
didn't pick an upset. Marcos, you go ahead
Pick
and
your
go
Texans.
first.
Pick your
Give
Texans,
me
Marcos.
Texans over Colts.
Oh, man.
All right, Texans
Colts
over
are
Colts.
2.5-point favorites.
I thought he was going to steal Aiden's upset.
You know what?
I'm
It's
pretty
only
sure I know what
appropriate
it
that
is.
you go out with the Texans.
I have to.
Aiden, what's your upset pick?
So I'm looking at I looked at this line and I put this game aside because I thought the Chargers would be favored. The Broncos are favored. Now the Chargers might sit players depending on what the Ravens do, but the Broncos are favored. And I think
they're favored by 3.5.
The Chargers last week they only played the Chargers for like a quarter or two because they blew out the Rams early in that game. Yeah. So give me the Chargers upset over Broncos.
Oh, okay. That one's kind of sitting on a platter. That's a good pick. All right, so there we go. That wraps up Week 18 Pick'em. Next week, we'll go over the final standings of the Pick'em Challenge for this 2022 season. All right, we got one more segment left with you. I'm going to get to your text, so sit tight. One more segment, episode number 100, Sunday Sports Rush. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Rush. Episode number 100. It's our 2-year anniversary. James Espinosa, Aiden Ducker, Marcos Matakin, and Alex Weister with you for the last 10 minutes. Thank you guys sincerely from the bottom of my heart, each and every single person out there who has ever listened to the show, who has texted into the show, who has ever been a guest on this show. We've had a ton of guests over these last 100 episodes. And I sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart for being with us, for being friends with us, and for supporting us. And to my crew in here, Aiden, Alex, and Marcos, I thank you guys for riding with me, for sticking it out with me, and for being a part of the show and being some really great friends. So thank you guys so much. It is much appreciated. I just had to get that message out before the show ended. My gratitude is always going to be 100 for you guys, and I love you guys, and I love doing this show each and every week.
Alex, you're gonna be in town next month for Cocaine Bear?
That's up in the air. I should be in like the beginning of February.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see what happens. We'll try and get a Sports Rush watch party going of some sorts. But so yeah, let me go ahead and get to some text real quick because I did promise to pay that off, and I will do that. Edward's in here. Edward says congratulations, with some party streamers and a hand clap. Thank you, Edward, for getting in. We have Sheila in here on the text line. Sheila says, congrats on 100, guys. I love your show. Aiden, you rock.
Thank you.
That is from Sheila. There we go. I like that.
Thank you, Sheila. I appreciate it.
Thanks for getting in, Sheila. We appreciate you so much. Let's go ahead and let's talk about a couple of things here real quick because Corpus Christi went viral. We went viral, guys, with the popcorn guy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason.
At the Cinemark movie theater, the popcorn guy went viral last week. His name is Jason, right? Jason.
Yep. Jason Gable or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
So the popcorn guy went viral. That's pretty kick-ass. And Aiden, it is to my understanding that you actually witnessed popcorn guy in person. Now, first question, was he as awesome as the video showed?
Yeah, the way that he trolls around the popcorn bucket with this, he actually did it with his thumb.
Damn.
Trolling it around with his thumb. You see in the video.
Did he butter your popcorn good?
He didn't make my popcorn. He just come back for break.
Oh.
But he still showed me his technique though.
Jesus.
I have had the honor of having Jason make my popcorn.
I'm pretty sure he's done before.
Was it great?
Yeah, it was entertaining for sure.
I love the fact how he just butters every layer like a true pro.
Well, I think they probably asked for layered butter.
Oh.
I asked for layered butter personally.
Well, still, he's a pro. So Corpus went viral.
It's just great that he became viral because Corpus was still coming off that stink of the Laredo taco lady.
We were reeling off the heels of the Laredo taco stripes fight.
That was an embarrassment of all sorts of embarrassment.
That happened like a couple of weeks ago.
You didn't see that, Marcos?
No, I didn't.
Couple of broads got in a fight at the Laredo Taco Company, and a bottle was smashed over one of the ladies' heads.
God.
A Laredo Taco employee,
basically the worst,
and a lady.
Basically the worst,
a customer.
Just think about the worst kind of woman in Corpus.
Yeah,
that was all in. Let's put in one video.
You're just drug induced, all that. Just think about that. Just the worst that Corpus has to offer. So
I don't think it was drug induced. I just think they were just cranky bitches.
Whoa!
Hey, man!
Jeez! All right, episode number 100. And we're letting loose here in the last few minutes. All right, I wanted to talk about the Islanders real quick. Let's just go over the Islanders week that was for basketball. So the men and women both went 2-0 this week against UIW. Big-time wins for both the men and women. The men won yesterday in San Antonio, 80-71. They're 3-0 in the Southland Conference. And the women won 65-58. The women were down by 9 at half and made a comeback in the second half to win 65-58. They are also 3-0 in the Southland Conference. And we have audio from the final call of the women's game. Our very own Doug Kesterson. Want to give a shout out to Doug. He does such a great job on the women's broadcast. Here's Doug counting down the final seconds of the women's victory over UIW.
Rebound coming away is Sanborn, throws back out Wheeler. Wheeler chunking it, off of it, no good. Rebound coming away is Westbrook. Westbrook's going to hold on to it. That's it. Islanders come back from down 9 to win 65-58.
There's Doug, the GOAT.
Yes, he always does a great job.
Awesome job by Doug. So both men's and women's teams are 3-0 in Southland Conference play, and they return home on Thursday at the American Bank Center, 5 p.m. for the women, and then I believe 7:30 or so for the men. They both play Southeastern University in another Southland Conference battle. So make sure you go out there and fill the vault. Money in the bank, all that good stuff. Here in a couple of weeks, we're going to try and get Coach Steve Lutz on the line and catch up with Coach Lutz. So we'll start to talk a little bit more Islanders basketball as the Southland Conference continues and we head towards March Madness. So there we go. Just wanted to kind of get the Islanders in there real quickly. Let's go ahead. Oh, Javelina's also extended the contract of Michael Salinas. He's going to be the head football coach through 2026. So shout out to the Hogs, extending Michael Salinas as their head coach. All right, so that's pretty much it right there, guys. Last couple of minutes of episode number 100.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything to add? Anybody got anything to say? Go ahead, Aiden. So eloquently.
I'm still very rusty.
It's fine.
But honestly, I just want to thank the listeners for sticking with us.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, listeners.
Through all the trials and tribulations and all that.
Exactly.
As if we're struggling. We're not struggling. We're doing what we love. We have great chemistry with one another. You know, the times we do have arguments and disagreements, it's very civil and it makes and at times makes for good radio. So I appreciate James, Alex, Marcos, and Doug for allowing us to get this slot on Sunday mornings, and it's been a treat, man. Yeah, it's been a treat. Alex, any parting shots before we hit the heart out?
It's just been an honor to be on this show. Getting my start here, that kind of kickstarted what has so far been a fantastic past couple of years in terms of my journey, going from here, moving on to help with baseball and football, and moving on up to Denton, where it's been absolutely phenomenal, and I've been awarded some opportunities that I would have never expected I would have had.
Awesome, man. Well said, Marcos.
Yeah, I just thank y'all. I appreciate the chance to come on here. I know I haven't been a part of many of the 100 episodes, but I appreciate every second of it. I appreciate y'all. I've had a blast.
Awesome, man. And we appreciate you, Marcos. I appreciate all you guys as well. And that's going to wrap up the show. Episode number 100 is in the books. Thank you to everybody who got in and wished us well and congratulated us on 100. We appreciate y'all guys so much. Good job, gentlemen, in here. And that's going to wrap it up, guys, for Aiden Ducker, Marcos Smatakin, Alex Weister. I am James Espinosa. Here's to the next 100. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Yummy, yum, 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 yum.